Hey everyone, this is Deadite, and let's all help in celebrating the 15-year anniversary of Monster Hunter by breaking down the impact its combat system had on the entire gaming landscape over the last decade and a half. It might not have been apparent right away, but looking back on the series' storied history now makes it quite obvious that it left a giant footprint on the entire industry. If you know me and you know this channel, then you know that talking combat systems is one of my favorite things to showcase, and that's exactly what I'm going to do here today, with something extra special towards the end to really make this a celebration. Released in 2004 on the PlayStation 2, the first Monster Hunter game garnered above-average reviews overall, but not everyone entirely grasped some of the initially cumbersome mechanics. Some strange inputs for using and changing items, as well as having to sheath your weapon just to be able to sprint, immediately put off many before they were able to fully appreciate what the game had to offer. For those who stuck with it and dedicated themselves to mastery over this combat system, found the rewarding learning curve to many of its nuanced weapons to make them feel much more in touch with their video game weaponry than most other games ever achieve. Monster Hunter has a certain weight to it, an impact to everything you do that makes the combat system feel all the more tangible and real, even though you're taking on some absolutely wacky fictional beasts. While most action RPGs at the time had you feeling completely adept with your equipped weapons in just a few hours, if not minutes, each Monster Hunter weapon slowly reveals more and more layers and ways to optimize your attack patterns well into the dozens, if not hundreds of hours. Although no traditional RPG class system appears in the mainline Monster Hunter games, the weapons themselves are so unique and varied they completely dictate your entire playstyle and become a class all to their own. This dedication and familiarity to your favorite weapon that you crafted out of Jaggy Butts and Anjanath Toes is what I would consider to be one of the most important standout features of Monster Hunter that made it foster such a fervent fanbase. In Monster Hunter, you're not just choosing something to wield, you're pledging your life to the mastery of a weapon. Thanks to Uniqlo for allowing me to briefly showcase their exclusive new UT graphic t-shirt collection in honor of the 15-year anniversary of Monster Hunter. Because a t-shirt is more than just a t-shirt. It's an expression of who you are, where you've been, what you love. And with hundreds of limited edition t-shirts to choose from each year, you'll always find one that says exactly how you feel. These exclusive tees are in local Uniqlo stores right now and are also available to order online. To get your hands on these, head over to uniqlo.us/mhboom, which is linked right beneath this video. I really feel like they nailed the core aspects of what Monster Hunter is all about with these designs, and I'm always glad to showcase something that I naturally have a passion for. Uniqlo Lifewear, simple made better. Now let's jump back to the early 2000s again, when video games are really starting to lean quite heavily into terms like accessible, intuitive, and hack and slash. A wave of games starting around the Devil May Cry and God of War times spawned a shift in the industry to empowering players by allowing them to decimate hordes of enemies with the press of a button. These games are awesome in their own right for sure, and I enjoy them myself, but too much of a good thing can often lead to oversaturation in the gaming market. Right square in the middle of this more immediately satisfying time in gaming that was more about making the player feel like an absolute powerhouse with minimal pushback, here comes this strange action RPG with funky controls that requires you to transport eggs, forage, sharpen weapons, and has you only fighting one enemy for like 20 minutes? What? Now, Monster Hunter is not the first game to try to make the combat system feel more weighted and impactful, nor is it the first game to tie the majority of combat to a stamina gauge. However, it helped to push these features to the forefront of many developers' minds. Fast forward a few years and a couple of Monster Hunter games later, and we start to see the rise of slower, more grounded third-person combat take hold. This growing trend to slow things down and expect more from players, when combined with the 2009 release of Demon's Souls and the following 2011 release of Dark Souls, all helped to create the perfect storm of ushering in this more impactful and weighty combat style that spread throughout the industry. Although From Software and Capcom may not be associated in any way, they both passively work together to carry the torch for slowing down combat and putting trust back onto the players. As both series expanded and increased their foothold over the years, we started to see more and more games lean away from terms like hack and slash, and we started to see more terms popping up like methodical, weighty, and even going as far as flaunting how much you will die if unprepared. This helped to launch us into the current era we are still in to this day, the age of methodical combat and enjoyable failure. Although plenty of hack and slash titles are still being published on the regular, these more methodical action games that usually have harsh punishments for death seem to be a dime a dozen nowadays. We even see juggernaut franchises like God of War slow things down, shift the camera behind the player, emphasize blocking, and require more careful placement of your attacks instead of just pressing square 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 triangle repeatedly. For this trend to be going as strong as it is still, more than a decade later, has proven that it's more than just a temporary gimmick, it's now a permanent mainstay of the action genre. What will the next big shift in combat be for the gaming industry next? Hard to say. It seems like high mobility and verticality are making a huge comeback from the late 90s, so it's looking like the next big paradigm shift might be speeding things all back up again, but honestly, who actually knows what the next big thing will shake up the industry? With the resounding success of Monster Hunter World and the upcoming Iceborne expansion looking to give players the endgame they've always desired, Monster Hunter seems like it's nowhere near stopping. Quite the opposite, in fact. In the future, I could see us looking back on this time as still the introductory years for the franchise. While considered just a niche title in the West and a cultural phenomenon in the East for a good amount of time, Monster Hunter has now become a worldwide phenomenon that has carved out a permanent and very important spot in the history books of gaming. For all the years of hard work and love that's been poured into this series over the years, to Monster Hunter and the awesome community out there, thank you.
Thank you to Monster Hunter.
This is Gaijin Hunter. Thank you for quite literally changing my life. Not only did you give me thousands of hours of fun, but I met a community, made friends, and Monster Hunter helped me through a lot of hard times. Fan for life, can't wait to see what you guys got next.
Thank you, Capcom, for 15 years of Monster Hunter.
Thank you, Monster Hunter, for wonderful 15 years.
Hi, this is Ian from Easy Allies. I just wanted to say thank you for the Insect Glaive.
Congratulations, Capcom, on 20 years of Monster Hunter.
It's not 20 years? How many years is it? 15 years? 20 years?
Congratulations, Capcom, on 15 years of Monster Hunter.
Thank you, Monster Hunter, for 15 years of letting me blow up dinosaurs with a big sword. Thank you, Capcom, for...
Jacob, move, you're gonna get hit.
What?
Thanks, Capcom, for putting Mega Man in Monster Hunter. Awesome stuff.
Hey, it's DarkHero, and I just wanted to say congratulations to the Monster Hunter team for the 15th anniversary of the franchise. I've been playing Monster Hunter since I was 8 or 9 with Freedom 1 on the PSP, and I cannot wait to see where the series goes next.
Thank you for 15 years, Monster Hunter.
Hey guys, Arekkz here. Just want to take a moment to jump in and say thank you so much, Monster Hunter, for being so awesome. Monster Hunter is one of my favourite game series of all time. I've been playing it since Freedom Unite. I've made so many friends through Monster Hunter, made so much content through Monster Hunter. Honestly, Monster Hunter is a very important game to me for a number of different reasons. So thank you so much for being awesome, continuing to grow, and honestly, I cannot wait to see where Monster Hunter goes in the future.
And that concludes how I chose to celebrate the last 15 years of Monster Hunter by talking about combat systems and bringing everyone together the best I could, and honestly I wouldn't have it any other way. A very special thanks again to Uniqlo for working with Boomstick Gaming on this, and also to all the fans and creators that were kind enough to send in their own personalized clips. Definitely dive into the video description for a link to those Monster Hunter shirts, and to also check out everyone I featured in this because they are the ones that make up this great community. If you happen to enjoy learning about video games from someone who loves them to an almost unhealthy degree, consider subscribing here to Boomstick Gaming, and I'll be seeing you all in the comments section because I really want to know what Monster Hunter has meant to you over the years. As always, this has been Deadite, and I greatly appreciate you watching this all the way to the end. Thank you.
Looks tasty.